We welcome you to another live edition of the Sports Box, brought to you by our sponsor, Showcase Sports in Hamilton. Showcase Sports for the elite athlete. And by our friends over at CrowdPlay. Download the free CrowdPlay app today and check them out at www.crowdplayapp.com for details. Ladies and gentlemen, it's showtime.
Gentlemen. Fun time in the NBA. What's going on, guys?
What's up, fellas?
How we doing tonight? Got a big it's March, most beautiful time of the year in basketball, in my opinion. Some fun stuff going on. Ollie's back from his hiatus last week. We'll get into that a little bit later, but and you calmed down for last night's show. You're a little amped up about your Bears. I mean, you can't blame me on that. I mean,
yeah. Season hasn't started yet.
Yeah, I know it's a tough one. It's a tough one, but listen, fun week. We got a little bit of excitement here going on. Trade deadline, March Madness, LeBron injury. I mean, Sixers looking good. I mean, there's all kinds of fun stuff. I'd say the Bulls were looking good, but sorry, Kev.
That's okay. Hey, listen, man. I can ride through the season. You see my beauty. My beauty is good right now. I can ride. I just enjoy basketball. I'm just gonna ride this high for a while.
I don't blame you. Hopefully, we'll get there one ourselves in Philly. Paul. You feeling good tonight, buddy?
Oh, Paul.
Yeah, back.
There you go. Listen, I got a couple questions for you because we were looking it up now. Their NBA came through and said, there's more people in the stadiums and stuff like that. You went to the Sixers game on Wednesday night. That's why you were here. Tell me what the experience was like, man. Like what kind of protocols they had and everything.
When you're in I don't know if we're getting that much clout where I'm going to throw them under the bus, but when you're in a box, apparently you're free flowing. The independent bars are not open in your box, but it's a very different experience walking through the stadium, and there's just nobody. Like it feels like there's nobody there, and then you get to your spot. I mean, we had a box, and you walk out, and it's like, all right, there's NBA being played. There's nobody here, so it's a different experience. Like I said, there was only four of us in our box. But
and the other three weren't me, Kevin, and Anthony. Let's just be clear on that.
Yeah,
unfortunately, some of us have to work. You know what I'm saying? So, but let me ask you this: like, a lot of times they were, a lot of times people were saying, home court and stuff like that. Like, how do you feel that the fans being in the stadium and at the game now? How do you think? Do you think that had any outcome of the game, or like, do you think it helped? It's just whatever.
And I don't. You could just tell it's like they're pumping noise into the stadiums, and it's just not. It's not even close. Like I said,
so with fans there, they're still pumping noise in. Is that what's going on?
Yeah, they're still pumping. They can go up to a certain max decibel. So there's only X amount of fans in there. They're not making up for that noise. So yeah, they're definitely still pumping some fake noise in there.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you wind up seeing a great game though, so at least you're fortunate on that. I mean, I forget what was that? What was that Wednesday night? So Sixers pulled that one out in OT. Was that what it was?
Yeah.
No, they lost to the Bucks in OT.
Yeah,
we were at cheerleaders and about halfway through.
There's a veteran move. There you go. He's learning. He's learning. But that's good. But listen, we're glad to have you back. We got some stuff. Oh, we always love this on this show because we gave it a lot of winners last Wednesday. Mickey Carr is making an appearance. Bucks -6. I guess that's tonight.
Giannis playing? Is Giannis playing?
When I looked at players props, Giannis was not available and no Bucks props were available. But I think that. So
Giannis bullied that night.
So yeah, they're playing Boston, and Boston has a lot of problems. So it's going to be interesting to see if they could kind of right that ship. So we always love that. So we'll get on that as well. But you know what? Let's do a little recap right now of a little March Madness, right? I mean, we had a sweet. Well, I say
Do we
sweet
have to?
14.
Do we
Let
have
me
to?
edit that real quick. I fat fingered that one a little bit. Let's go with the Sweet 16 in March Madness. What are you guys feeling over a crazy weekend? Listen, I mean, there was some great basketball on, great games. What do you guys take out of March Madness so far?
The dogs is
awesome.
out, baby. The dogs
Yeah.
is all the underdogs is killing right now. I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
How your brackets look?
if anybody has a decent bracket, they did like 30 of them.
I'm gonna pull the bracket up right now. Yeah, I mean,
Fire.
I don't even check right now. You know what I'm saying? We're just kind of in here, and
I haven't looked. I haven't looked since day one.
No, it's not even worth it. Just tell me at the end if I won or not.
Yeah, I mean, I got.
Yeah, so we all got a shot too, though. What
Didn't go
what
for the
game
undefeated.
surprised you the most as far as being in the Sweet 16?
Well, I mean, it's the obvious Oral Roberts.
Yeah.
The two big wins right there. Beating two quality teams. Yeah, Alex is right. Big Ten's overrated.
Big Ten took a huge shit in this tournament. I'd have to say. I mean, they weren't competitive in a lot of games.
I would say Loyola. Yeah. I mean, just seeing the fact that I had Illinois going very far.
I think we all did.
Illinois was I thought they were legit. But I mean, then again, they scheduled a game against a nun on a Sunday, and it's like they had no shot. They were losing that. The nun was out praying before the game. But yeah, I would say, I mean, obviously Oral Roberts, but Loyola beating Illinois, I thought was very, very interesting. Syracuse is playing very motivated.
Yeah, I mean, Buddy Boeheim's out there lighting it up and everything like that. So it's definitely definitely a little bit of surprise there. That's for sure.
Yeah, that's pretty sweet. Going out like playing for your dad, fucking, and he's lighting it up too. Like March Madness, that's.
You know who I'm surprised honestly is Creighton.
Creighton, we talked about their troubles coaching with McNair.
I wasn't really impressed with them coming in, and then for them to be in the Sweet 16, I thought they were going to get beat in the first round. I did.
The team that I'm a little bit shocked on is Oregon State. Right? I mean, they were borderline mediocre, if not bad, in the regular season, and then they come through it and they win the Pac-10 tournament, which was kind of like you're like, oh, okay, they'll come down to earth now.
Right.
And they haven't. They're playing great ball. Oregon State, USC. I mean, the Pac-10 is looking really.
Pac-12. Oregon beat Oregon State by about 20, like a couple days before, and
before the tournament.
Then boom, fucking lose the Pac-12. Oregon looks pretty good.
Yeah,
that was very weird. Probably the first time we've ever seen that, right? Disqualification due to COVID.
Virginia.
Yeah.
Well, then they come and it's
no.
Virginia's interesting.
I think he was talking about with Oregon and VCU, right, Paul? Is that what you were talking about?
Yeah, Oregon, VCU.
Oh yeah. I mean, it'd been Chris Duarte really caught.
I thought he
carried them, but
I got you.
It's good. And what about you? What's your big surprise so far, bud?
I mean, we've talked about it. I mean, I'm looking right now that Oregon State and Loyola actually play each other coming up.
Yeah.
Oregon State's actually still dogs, plus 6.5.
Yeah,
they're a surprising team.
You called that, Ed. You called that, didn't you? I believe you talked about last show about that.
Well,
what is
we
it?
The
Pac-10 or 12? What is it?
Yeah, we talked about that bet that was placed on Oregon State.
Yeah.
And those guys hit big on it.
They damn sure did.
Yeah. So Houston
too.
I didn't watch any Houston games this year.
Oh, they can score.
But the game I saw, they're a very athletic team. They got length, and then they're going to be a tough out.
Well, they have a like a Quentin Grimes transferred high level recruit that went to Kansas, transferred out to them. I mean, they're one of the team. They do have some high level players playing on that team this year, and it's actually showing.
Yeah,
very
USC
athletic.
absolutely. What's that?
Oh yeah,
USC shot the lights out Monday night.
They put a hurting on Kansas. I love that.
I mean, they weren't missing. They showed like their hot chart on the up on the TV. They had one cold spot. Everything else was red. Besides like 2 places they didn't shoot.
But I mean, it helps when you're looking at a tournament like this and seeing Oklahoma State lose because he had the star Cade Cunningham. But when you're also looking at USC, they have Evan Mobley, and Evan Mobley is going to be a top 5 pick in this year's NBA draft.
Yeah,
I think
his older brother.
That's what they got. They got brothers.
Yeah, they were both killing it.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. You have the older brother, but I mean, listen, when you have a top 5 player, I mean, in this draft, I mean, you're looking at a.
Did you guys saw that game with Oklahoma State, Oregon State? Was it to me? It looked like Cade Cunningham just doesn't want to play. Like he was just like, you know what, I'm going to the pros anyway. He just
very slow start.
He didn't look into it. Like he was just like, all right, whatever. I know that might be his personality, but like I was expecting more. I was expecting him to make a big run in this tournament. You know, like a D Wade type thing. You know what I mean? The guy just goes
Carmelo.
Carmelo.
Yeah, Carmelo would be.
I was a little disappointed in him. I still think he's the number 1 pick in the draft, but I expected a little bit more out of him.
Yeah.
I mean, it's tough too. It's tough with how they got going on. Team that I'm impressed with so far too. Alabama's looked really good. I mean, Jelani Moody. I mean, they're the Jelly Q family and everything like that. They're doing a great job. And I think Bama with the big man, and they got
Herbie Jones.
Herbie Jones is who I'm thinking about. But
no.
Yeah, and what Alex brings up here is like, do you think anybody can beat Gonzaga? That's an absolute no.
Nope.
Can anybody cover against Gonzaga?
Question.
No.
Yeah.
I mean, I would say the same thing about Illinois. So,
well,
I mean,
listen, Gonzaga.
Listen, I thought Illinois was real deal. I mean, maybe that was
Who the
Zags? Go ahead, Ed.
I'm just looking who they have next. They got that Creighton team next, Zags.
Why?
Yeah. Listen, Creighton could have lost to Santa Barbara.
They should have lost. My man.
They should have lost to them.
You can't miss a half a foot.
Well, that's
sorry. That's terrible.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah, so just bet on Gonzaga pretty much every game if you can. I took them first half last game, and it is what the one thing though, if you guys noticed too, we're talking about all these upsets. I think what we saw in the first weekend that was the biggest thing is that the NCAA did a horrible job with the seeding.
Oh,
I mean, because you're a gambler, Paul, you're a gambler, and Kev, I know you don't really gamble too much, but when you're looking at these lines, like there was lines in these games. I mean, yeah, they were low. I mean, you're talking about like a 10-digit difference in seeding was only like a 4-point spread.
Well, that's what they were saying about the Loyola Chicago. Like they rated, like they were like the 20, or I think they're like the 16th ranked team in the country, and they made them an 8 seed.
Right.
They shouldn't have been playing. They should have been like a 4 seed. They had like some big victories. It was just horrible. There's another one they were.
Did they get bounced out of their conference tournament early?
No, I don't know. I think they won it. I'm pretty sure they did.
Yeah, they won their tournament.
And they won.
But they were like the number, like they were saying.
Right. If you're 16 in the country and you win your conference tournament, you're an 8 seed.
Yeah, and how's the how would you like to be the team asked to play them too? Knowing that they're misseeded. I mean, I forget who they played in the first round was Georgia Tech.
Yep.
Georgia Tech. Then you're the 1 seed, Illinois, and now you got to play a top 16 team in the country. That's what I'm saying. A little off balance. One other team that I'm surprised about, and I'm not a fan of this school, and I know Kevin's going to agree with me, is Villanova. I mean, Villanova has to be, I mean, everybody expect them to lose to Winthrop, because you're missing Gillespie and you're missing these guards, and there you go.
I think that's the Syracuse factor, the coaching. I think they're just so well coached that they're going to beat teams that are.
I mean, you get to play a 13 seed, a 12 seed and a 13 seed back to back also helps too. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
yeah. You still have 4.
Right. That's what I'm saying. I mean, they're coaching.
Yeah,
eventually,
I mean,
you're
going
to get out coached regardless.
I'll give you that. I'm not a Villanova guy. I'll give him credit, but let's see what happens when he's got these guards pressuring him all this next game against Baylor. Let's see how his coaching acts then. when they're playing against guys that are just as good as them. So we'll see.
Yeah, Baylor.
If he can win this game, I'll give him credit.
No, there's no shot that they're winning this game. This line is skyrocketing. I got in early at 6.5. I think by this time this game tips off, it's going to be 8-point spread. It's already up to 7.
Of course, I did call the UNC to win to get into the Sweet 16. My bad, everybody. But
that's for your heart.
Yeah, of course. I'm always going to bet with my heart. Go Heels. But the Baylor's whole team is ridiculous. I forgot how good they were.
Yeah, bet the house on Baylor.
I'm telling Baylor might. You know what? I take it back. Baylor might be able to give Gonzaga a game if they can get there, because they have athletes. They got 5 guys that can score, cover, dribble. We'll see, but Baylor's a good squad.
Yeah.
So I mean, I think though at the end of the day, when we look at it, I think it's going to be Gonzaga, and right now the teams that are left, I think Baylor has the best shot to meet Gonzaga in the finals. I mean, it's chalk, but it's been a little bit exciting way to chalk. Michigan, although they're going to struggle with Florida State or Bama, whoever
they're going to struggle. Florida State.
I like Alabama.
I like Alabama too.
There's a couple left that you're just like.
Houston,
Houston's got that route. Houston's got a route. If they can get by the Syracuse team, which is going to be a tight game.
Yeah.
Houston's got could do it.
Yeah, and what you're going to have to see is Houston's going to shoot the ball, because when Boeheim throws that 2-3, in the extended zone, I mean, and listen, their extended zone, their zone defense this year hasn't been as good as it has been in years past. They don't have that team work in the middle or some of these ultimate shot blockers, but when you're looking at it, you're not they're very beatable. I mean, Buddy Boeheim, like I said, he's been playing the ball, playing well. I've been killing the prop. Our man Luke Garza, who I killed the props every single game, he just crushes overs. That's all he does. Yeah. But they're knocked out, so we can't. That money train is going to end.
Did you guys see Buddy Boeheim when he was one of the West Virginia guys walked by him? He's like, "I'm a bucket, baby. I'm a bucket." Tell him, buddy. You tell him.
You got to love that confidence. I mean, March
27'3". So I mean, with a shot clock running down, a big child, I was like, all right, you can.
He had 30. He had 30 something, right?
Yeah,
two games ago.
Yeah,
so he lit it up.
I would not be shocked if Syracuse won that game. I mean, that might be a play.
That zone's if you're not used to seeing that zone takes a while,
and that's exactly what that zone is for, is to take away athletes, get into the middle, space them out, make them shoot. I mean, that's exactly what it's does.
Hopefully you learn and you put your best passer athlete right in the middle at that foul line and let him go to work. That's how you beat that thing. Yeah. I don't know why it takes people so long. It takes them like a half to realize that.
Listen, Joel B can't figure out his zone yet. So I mean,
the dude from Loyola, that's all he was doing.
You mean Super Trooper? That's the Super Trooper.
Yeah, I mean, he was getting in the middle, passing. He had the option.
He's a good player. He looks like he should be delivering beer. Fucking, he
looks like he should be playing in the HMBL league. You know what I mean?
Listen,
you got to put some respect to my league. That's
a good league. Bro. That's a fantastic league.
Listen, he's a good ball player. We saw the other day, White Mamba, some high school kid try to punk him. White Mamba came out there 11-0. Like, come on. Some guys are just walking buckets, and Crowig from Loyola definitely is.
Even those two guys from where was it? Western Kentucky, the
brothers.
Dude, they were balling, man. They were good players.
Yeah, looks can be deceiving, and he's a veteran player. He knows how to play, and he's a good ball. But listen, another big thing that we got going on in NBA circles is the NBA trade deadline.
Hey,
I mean, so who do we have? The names that are out there: Aaron Gordon, Lonzo Ball, Kyle Lowry, Larry Markin, and Victor Oladipo. I mean, is there any feasible trade out there that you guys expect to happen? Like there's been a lot of talk, but it's just been mostly smoke.
I think Victor Oladipo is going to go.
Oh, Oladipo, I think is gone.
I don't know where. I think he's gone. I think at the right price, probably Lonzo Ball. I was reading that Kyle Lowry wants a contract extension.
I thought Lowry was going to be a sure thing.
So I think that we'll see. We'll see what teams like if they want to get. He wants. I think he said $25 million a year or something like that for 2-year extension. I'm like, all right, buddy, let's relax with all that.
Yeah. I think Lowry's a little bit.
I'm hoping as a Bulls fan, I'm done with Lowry. Like good kid. He starts as a guy who can shoot, take it to the hole. Now he's just a stand in the corner shooter. I don't need that.
Well, that's what they were comparing him and Lonzo Ball.
I would love to do that. I'll do that straight up any day of the week. It sounds good to me, but I just don't know if he fits with the Pelicans. I mean, maybe you could put him at the 4, slide Zion to the 5, but I don't know if he really fits with them. So
yeah, they brought up Lonzo to the Bulls. Sixers were in the conversation. I feel like the Sixers are in the conversation for everybody.
Well, that's Daryl Morey for you.
Right.
He's a hustler
with Morey. Their name is just getting brought up anytime somebody mentions a trade. And obviously Kyle Lowry was kind of at the top of our trade rumor.
But that $25 million, did you hear that?
I don't like it. I liked it 2 years ago. Everybody could have got Kyle Lowry
when you have him under control. But he wants an extension.
Here, I'm gonna say this nice and clear.
Hit me.
Fuck Kyle Lowry.
There you go.
I agree.
I don't understand this clamoring for fucking Kyle Lowry. Mr. Choke every time he was in the playoffs until Kawhi carried his ass there, right? He was number 2, Mr. O for everything when he had DeMar DeRozan and they were number 1 seed and they got their asses bounced out, right? Kawhi carried his ass, right? Kawhi's carried his ass that one season and that's what happened, right? Lowry did have a good game in the finals, one of the games. Great job for him. One out of his fucking 30 playoff games that he had has actually fucking did something. 2, okay, you have Kyle Lowry. All right, so Toronto is trying to build now around Fred VanVleet, Spicy P, OJ Anunoby, right? Okay, and now all of a sudden Kyle Lowry has value. Like, so they're not doing shit this year, right? They're barely squeaking near the playoffs. So you're going to sit there and tell me that, like, where's the onus for anybody to want Kyle Lowry? Except he wants to go out, right? He wants to get out of Toronto. I thought Toronto was trying to build something. Very quick fall from grace from NBA champion to now they're rebuilding around Spicy P. And I don't know if you guys heard about that.
Oh yeah, he's
playing with the coach.
Nick Nurse benches him.
It got very personal. Supposedly, Spicy P got real personal with Nick Nurse. Some stuff that you shouldn't be saying to your coach or another man, from what I read.
Well, the Nick Nurse needs to handle the business. They're both getting paid.
What's Nick Nurse going to do?
Fuck, who knows? Nick Nurse might got hands.
Come on, he's got the reach, bro.
Fuck around and listen. You know what they say? Fuck around and find out. Fuck around and find out.
Like the whole first 3 rounds, and then Nick
listen. The way Spicy P's been playing, I ain't giving him credit for nothing. He went from I remember a couple years ago talking about how improved he is. He's one of the most improved players. Is he as good as Ben Simmons and all this other bullshit?
Who ever said that?
He was getting talked about that year. Who? Point at me?
Please don't.
It took me a while. I should have just did this. No, but people were saying that, and they were giving him requests. Now he's a guy who's fighting with the curse. You can't play in the fourth quarter.
Are you going to the side or down? Was that?
He's going.
I'm just picking somebody. It's the fucking Brady bunch. What are we going to do?
Well, listen, I got the game changer for you. I just got the alert. I got the game changer. The guy Kelly Oubre is on the trading block. Game time. Boy. Whoever picks him up, I'm just kidding. I'm being sarcastic.
Listen, Kelly Oubre dropped easy 24 last night. He also gave up probably about 60 trying to play defense.
It's the old school Carlos Boozer thing. He'd give you 22 and 10, and this guy would have 42 and 25. So it's like
with a fucked up hairline while he's doing it.
Yeah, exactly.
So Kyle Lowry, everybody's climbing. So the most realistic trade for Lowry, from what I'm hearing, is another underachieving team, the Miami Heat. Okay, and the big holdup is they don't want to give up Tyler Hero. Now, before this season, they could have got the world with Tyler Hero, and now it seems like things have kind of regressed with these with Hero. So it's interesting to see. So they want Hero back in Toronto. So I'm not doing that. And another guy, and I know Kev, I talked to you the other day about this guy, is Aaron Gordon. What do you guys think about Aaron Gordon and him wanting to play for a winner and all this kind of stuff?
I don't think they're going to trade him to a winner, are they? All the teams that I heard that were interested in him were teams like the Rockets, and
Minnesota.
that aren't even in it. So I mean, now he's probably kicking himself. He's like, oh shit, they're gonna trade me to the Rockets. They're gonna trade me to this. They're a worse situation. What contenders are gonna jump up to get him?
Well, I mean, that's kind of what he's saying, though. I mean, he's trying to talk about, he's been wanting to get there, and yeah, there's real talks about him going to the Rockets. I mean, it's extremely interesting, and
it's gonna backfire on him.
My take is this, though, right? Who the hell is Aaron Gordon to dictate the draft, right? He was the 4th pick overall in a weak draft. Okay. He's never done anything to make his team a winner. He, okay, cool. He jumped over a fucking key and dunked the ball or whatever, cool, nice dunk contest. But, the G League and Europe is littered with people who were good in dunk contests. So if you're a top 5 pick, you're supposed to be elevating your team, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, and I'm not seeing anywhere where he's doing this. Now he wants to demand a trade. Like, it just blows my mind a little bit that he has the gumption. Listen, if you want to play on a good team, you're a top 5 pick. You should be making your team a good team, not asking for a trade. It just shows, like everybody else in this generation, soft.
Pop-Tarts.
Well said.
My boy J-Rock today had a big test. Everything went well with that test, J-Rock. You know what I'm saying? We appreciate the love always.
J-Rock.
So good to see. So, we'll see with that. My man Joe Keefe, what's up, Joe? This channel sucks. You know what? I could show you another channel of me banging your mom. You fucking hump. Get out of here.
All right. Now the party started. Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Oh my God! I should have do the DNA test. It's fucking all over his mom's lips.
Okay. So,
but hey, we're here for the fun and games too, buddy. I'm only playing, just like I'm. But anyway, so listen, so now we appreciate you watching, Joe. Just busting your balls there. I don't want you mad at me when you hit puberty, but so Aaron Gordon. I mean, is there any realistic that he goes to a contender?
Contender? No, I don't think so. I think at best he goes to, like you said, Houston or Minnesota. But he doesn't. What contender really? I mean, if the Lakers got desperate, maybe, but I don't think they're that desperate to take him. So. I don't see anybody.
Paulie, he loves you, Paulie. See, we're all having fun here, buddy. Anyway, so another name that's come up a lot that's kind of coming up is John Collins, and it's been officially taken off the trading block. Do you guys believe that? I mean, he caused a lot of drama with the Hawks earlier. I mean, what do you guys feel about Collins and him reportedly not going anywhere?
He got taken. They announced he's off. They're not.
That's what Woj and Zach Lowe and all these other guys are saying.
Well, if Woj says it, I got to believe it. But I mean, if somebody, who knows? If somebody gets, if you get 2 first-round picks, well, you're not going to jump on that. Like, if somebody got desperate, I'm sure they would. But I don't think he's probably not getting a lot of takers.
That's what he came out and said he's trying to stay there for his whole career and the little love saga. Like I said, I mean, I don't know how big the market is for him. He's a
free agent, right? Next year. So he's
at the end of this year. Yeah. Well, that's the same with is Oladipo? Oladipo's free agent. Lonzo's free agent.
Laurie's a free agent. Like, all these guys are free, so you're gonna
You don't want them to wall. And I mean, Lonzo, I could see him re-signing, especially now.
I think he's a restricted free agent, so you can control him. But I think everybody else is unrestricted.
I mean, Oladipo, like you said, he's probably the most likely to go because I mean, Houston pretty much said it when he got traded there. He was just a kind of a piece for a future move for them. So I don't think they really are too sold on keeping him.
So So let me ask you guys this, right? So we're talking trade. Everybody loves a hypothetical trade. What trade do you guys want to see? Like, what I mean, Kev, you're a Bulls fan. The others, the rest of us are Sixers. Like, what team do you like? What kind of trade do you want to see your team make?
I'll do mine first. I saw this. I sent it to TQ. I was talking before the show about it. I saw something, and I'm a big Zach LaVine guy. I love Zach LaVine. He's been fantastic this year. But I saw Laurie, Zach LaVine to the Nuggets for Gary Harris, Porter Jr., Bobo, a top 8 protected first round pick. I'll fly to Chicago right now, pick them up in a limo, drive them to Denver for that trade. That would be something to where you keep your first round pick, you get 2 young studs. I think Bobo, he just needs to get some playing time. We've all seen him in the bubble. He showed me enough. Michael Porter Jr. is going to be a stud. You put him there, and you still get that top pick. You lose Laurie and Zach. You're probably not going to be that good, so that your draft pick gets higher. You get another young guy.
I like that pick. I mean, I think it helps both. It kind of hits the reset button for the Bulls to get some young talent in there, and then it gives.
I'm sorry, Tony. Zach out with the Joker and all that with Jamal Murray. I think that helps with Laurie. I think it's a win-win. But will it happen? No. I can't.
That's a nice team, light skin backcourt too. I mean, that might be almost the second best backcourt in the thing. I mean,
yeah.
And then
I'm gonna say somebody we haven't brought up. Norman Powell of Pelicans was also getting some hype. I know Sixers were talking something with it was like Lonzo and Powell, which I mean in Philly, if you're not giving up too much, I don't know what anybody's comfortable with giving up, but I'm not looking to get rid of Tyrese Maxey. But then a night like last night
for Norman Powell,
I
would jump on that. Norman
yeah,
Powell, he could help you guys a lot, especially with.
Well, then what scares you is some nights Maxey will start when Embiid and Simmons are both in, and he'll play 35 minutes. Then you got no starters. Seth Curry's out, and he goes out and he's barely on the court.
Yeah.
So I mean, I don't know what it is with Doc and what exactly Maxey's position is going to be with us, but I mean, he was a name that was getting brought up in that whole. He was with the Kyle Lowry trade too. I heard.
He's like your only real piece besides Ben Tobias J. Cole stud double and Joel are off limits, but he's pretty much a piece that makes anything worth it. So
yeah, I mean, I don't think Danny Green had. Seth Danny Green. I like the roster how the Sixers have it right now. When they're all healthy, I like this roster. If they can keep the starting 5 and then 6 and 7.
I wouldn't mind seeing you get one more 3 and D guy just to help maybe slide.
Right, but I mean, who's that?
I mean, the Sixers' biggest need is a backup stretch 4. That's one of the biggest needs to come in there. Mike Scott hasn't really given them anything, everything like that. They also need a point guard on that second unit. As you see, there's nobody really to control it. So I mean, there's not a good
no one out
person there that you could sit and come in and help. So I mean, a guy that I've been heard, first of all, I would like Lonzo Ball. I've never been a huge fan of him, but I think he's developed into a very consistent role player. And I
would love Lonzo.
Very, very confused why the Pelicans are looking to get rid of him. To be honest, with you. I mean,
I think it's more on him. I've been reading articles. It's him. He doesn't want it there, and they're just kind of like, all right, well. We all know, but Ball doesn't want to be someplace. He's definitely going to tell you about it. He
came out and said that he wants to be there.
Yeah, I thought it was.
I mean, come on, is that kind of just so you don't hurt your trade value? You know what I mean? Like,
well, I mean, if you look at the James Harden, how it is, we'll see.
Well,
I even
that would be
lower level.
Wouldn't that be some shit?
Like someone like George Hill, I heard is out there. Like
that's who I was going to
mention. That would be that's a good guy.
George Hill is out there.
Lonzo,
wouldn't that be some shit if Lonzo comes back or ends up in Philly after the whole Markelle 2017 draft? It's like we had Fultz, complete bust. Lonzo
that would also be.
Wait, was that?
If you think about it, too, Fultz is on his second team. That would be Lonzo's third team.
Lonzo was the second pick of that draft.
Was he really?
Mm-hmm.
Tatum went third.
I forgot. But I don't know.
It was. Well, and you knew Lonzo was going to go there because of the LA thing and all that kind of stuff. So
we could have just sat at 3 and got Jason Tatum.
Well, that's the worst.
We were at 1. We could have just got Jason Tatum.
Fox.
De'Aaron Fox. I mean, there's a whole bunch of things we do. But the worst part of that trade is that we could have sat at 3 and took best player available. Okay, which probably still would have Markelle Fultz, because Boston was set on Jason Tatum, but they knew they could drop back and get him. So they wanted. So then the Sixers, being as dumb as Colangelo is, trades up and gives up an additional first round pick for that. So that whole thing was a mess. But Lonzo Ball in Philly would be interesting from this aspect. The Philly fans and the Philly faithful will not take his father's shit at all. They wouldn't. I mean, I don't know if you guys remember, went to any games with Ja Okafor being there, and his dad was a little not as quite as bad, but he was a clown. Absolute clown. He didn't run his mouth, while he was at the games and stuff like that. So it's interesting.
I feel like he's like kind of mellowed out, and he's not so much fun. Like,
I see what you did there. Mellowed out. I see what you did there.
Speaking of,
just come up with things, man.
I'm telling you, bro.
The smoke.
That magic pipe.
But no, I mean, yeah. When Lonzo came out, he was on ESPN every other day. He was like the social media king, and now he's just like, comes out with something stupid every once in a while.
He's got the greatest statement I've ever heard. Well, he said, "You traded Melo, Lonzo, you'll never win a title. The next year they win a title." So you know what?
Yeah, well,
I think it's time to let your kids play. Let them do.
Speaking of that trade, okay, they kind of reviewed that trade the other night. I mean, AD, they got the championship, but Julius Randle, Ingram, Lonzo, I mean, these guys are starting to be ballers now.
Jordan Clarkson, everybody's balling now.
Yeah. It's a little interesting. That's
and so are the Lakers.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I'm saying. I mean, they won their title, but at the same time,
even this year before they got hurt, they were fucked. They were.
Oh yeah, well, listen, you lose LeBron and Anthony Davis, that's expected. But these other guys have stepped up for sure.
Yeah, Brandon Ingram is he's out there fucking balling.
Yes, he is.
Now we brought up. I want to my man Larry Thomas. I appreciate you coming up, my man Larry, the general, the good old general. He brings this up. The greatest defensive player of all time. That's. Listen, I mean, if there is a bigger jackass,
it's gonna get very obnoxious if I bring it up. Yeah, look at that.
He also said Ben Simmons is up there.
Well, yeah, I mean, when you don't win the Defensive Player of the Year award, you got to kind of include him, I guess. But I mean. It's just a different era. And Draymond, Mr. Triple Single, as we like to call him, he's just a clown. I mean, we're Sixers fans. We watched the game last night. I know we were going to talk about it, but Sixers are missing Embiid. Warriors are missing Curry. Draymond's out there, and Shake Milton's taking him to the hole like it's nothing. I mean, you don't even know he's on the court most of the time.
SportsCenter did something on it because they showed it that he said that, and then they showed like 5 guys taking him in the hole and beating him, and Tony Bradley with a hook shot over him. It was great.
Bradley played awesome last night.
Bradley, what was he 8 of 8?
And Toad, tell him where he's from.
I mentioned Tony Bradley, North Carolina's finest. So there we go. Go Heels. Next year.
He had a nice big play in the winning minutes.
That big hook over
the hook.
The greatest defensive player of all time.
But it was a shame to watch that. It was a shame to watch that game with all the stars out. No Steph, no Embiid. I mean, Clay was already hurt. I mean, what's going on in the NBA right now? I mean, if you look down at where are the stars? LeBron's out, Embiid's out, Durant's out, AD's out, Curry's out, and Kyrie is on vacation again this season.
It's his birthday weekend, man. Let him go, man. He has to get 3 days off. It's a family matter.
It's crazy.
I mean, some of these guys are hurt, bad luck. I mean, really, like what's going on? I mean,
short off season.
Do you remember
bullshit All-Star game that they didn't need to play?
It wasn't a short and off season for 95% of the league, though.
Just LeBron and AD. That's it.
Yeah. So
95%. How many teams went to the bubble?
yeah, but they still were had plenty of time to recover. I mean, come on now.
I mean, it's not your typical.
PQ, what's it go back to what you said earlier about? It's just some of these guys are just a little soft. I think.
Yeah. Well, listen, LeBron's legit injury.
LeBron's legit, and
AD, Embiid. I mean, they're bad injuries. KD. I mean, I'm not saying. I think generally the guys that I have here listed are pretty injured. I mean, I think there's no except Kyrie. I mean, and he's just a freak.
Kyrie MIA. I mean, Lonzo or not Lonzo, LaMelo.
Yeah, that was
broken wrist out for the year. That sucks.
That sucks, man. He was really balling. That's what I did there. You see what I did there? Balling.
Speaking of ball, Jeremy, and we know you're a big ball fan, especially Jello ball. You know, they said don't sleep on Ball brothers. Lonzo goes to Philly, then LaMelo will follow. I don't see how that would be possible. You know, once LaMelo's a free agent or something like that, I don't. You know, it's difficult.
Lot, man.
Jeremy.
It's a lot of balls, Jeremy.
I'll tell you what. I'll give J Rock credit. He swings to the fences. I'll give him that. I'll give him credit.
I mean, they were like, they can't be real takes though.
It's not the worst take I heard today. I mean, you know, Penny Sewell isn't as intimidating as Rashawn Slater was pretty staggering. One clown, and he's in that same chat, also said about the Hawks, they should run their offense through Clint Capella. So, and the Hawks are a great story. I mean, as far as, you know, it's good to see the players get back together and focus. And I guess Nate McMillan, you know, is getting a lot of credit on that. But, you know, Lloyd Pierce got a raw deal over there.
Did he really say that? Did somebody really say that? Run your offense.
Damn, I got the alerts turned off. I missed this whole day.
No, that wasn't today. That was a while ago. But
I must have missed it for about a month.
What is he like? I would love to know what does he think? Like what game are you watching? I don't understand.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
He's not. No one's watching Hawks games. You know.
But I mean, you got like, how do you form that opinion? Like, what do you just guess and say, "Here, I'm just gonna put this down and see let's see how this goes."
Yes.
Could you imagine? I could just imagine him. All right, let's give it to Clint. Let's let him decide what's going on.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like I don't know. I mean, some of these guys are just just out there. It's social media. You give a voice to a lot of dumb people, and that's what happens.
That's like saying what the Bulls tried to do in the first 3 games, giving the ball to Wendell Carter and let him decide. What are we doing here? What is this? What's going on? Why do you think this is a good? This is not working. This is terrible. Never trust a Duke player in the NBA. How many times do I have to tell you these things?
That is good rationale. That's for sure. I mean, and there might not be any Duke players in the NBA for the next few years. So I mean, we'll see what happens with that. What quick look at some of the standings that we have here, though. You know, I mean, we do have a second half season that should be pretty good. Starting in the East here. All right, we got the Sixers, 9-1 in their last 10. I mean, if you look at the top 4 teams, they're all really out there. Then you have the middle, the Knicks kind of came back down to earth, and the Heat are kind of where they're supposed to be. I mean, do you see anybody from 9 down making a run and anybody else ascending? I mean, the Hawks are surprising with how well they played, but I mean,
I'll tell you what. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't see anybody from 8 down making a move at all. I would love to say just because it's my team and I love them and I'd like to see, maybe if they can get Lonzo or get a trade, maybe, but I just don't see it. I mean, maybe Charlotte might drop with LaMelo being down, but I mean, other than that,
Charlotte probably.
They still have enough. I mean, LaMelo's key, but you still got Rozier, you got Hayward. They got enough weapons just to survive because if you look at those teams from 9 down, they're all trash. And it pains me to say that my Bulls are trash. But
Paul comes back from one of my thing wiping his nose like he just killed some nose beers. That's great. We're that kind of show here, so I appreciate it. Although it's hard, it's probably having a heart attack, but yeah. But yeah, I mean, Ann, what about you, man? Do you think the Sixers hang on? I mean, Brooklyn, Kyrie, MIA, do they hang on too?
I mean, the Nets are amazing right now. I mean, James Harden jumped in front of everybody for MVP, in my opinion. The way he's playing, he's carrying this team. It's unbelievable. They're winning every night with just a bunch of guys.
And they don't have fucking Kevin Durant playing.
They don't have anybody. They don't have any of these guys. So I mean,
Or Kyrie for that matter.
The Sixers are equaling them, winning without their best player, their MVP. So I mean, it's an exciting race, and I'm watching the Bucks right now. They're
first to 10 Bucks. First to 10.
There we go.
Bucks.
Yeah, I mean they're playing really well.
I like this guy right here.
It's a 3-team race right now, and I mean, yeah,
I mean,
it's
so does it make sense for these teams like Kev? I mentioned to you for the Bulls and even the Hawks that are on a run. Like these teams, like why this year's draft is so good coming up, right? With Kuminga and Cade Cunningham, we mentioned early, Mobley, we mentioned earlier, Jalen Green. Why are these teams that are have no shot at winning, the Hawks, the Knicks, all that kind of stuff? Why do they even want to win? Like they're just ruining their draft shot. It doesn't. It's like this is not the year to have a feel good story. You know what I'm saying?
I agree. Yeah. I'm with you, and you've got me on that point. But I just understand being a Bulls fan, and you guys have all watched it. You've seen it. It's just been tragic for so many years when they had such terrible people running the draft or running this team. So I see they're trying to. They see they're within striking distance. I don't know what they're going to do, but it's just tough after seeing so many losing years. They want to finally. They see that they're close and they might have a shot. They're going to. They'll probably try to make a move to get there, but.
There's no such things as moral victories though. If they go make the playoffs, they're 7-8. They don't win a playoff game, and then guess what happens? They have a bad draft pick, and then they got to watch these other teams. I just don't think this is the year.
I'm with you. I'm with you 110%. But just speaking as a Bulls fan, just watching tragedy after tragedy, like just to see them sort of fighting, it's nice to see they're fighting. That they do have a shot.
But we know that the ping pong bowls haven't really bounced the correct way for them either. I mean, they landed 4 in a 3-person draft last year.
You get to 7, 3 straight years. You get number 7 pick, and you were like I think either 4th, 5th worst team in the league. Like it's just they don't have any luck. The last time they had like that, Rose was there.
I just think all these teams are pretty much equal. I mean, look at all these teams that play each other in and night out. I mean, they're just beating each other up. I mean, they all have the same records. They're all.
I mean, I can speak the Bulls.
I mean, someone has to make it. It's like, you know what I mean? It's almost like by default. There's the 3 teams, and then there's everybody else hovering around 500. So it's almost by fault you get in sometimes. It's like, so what can you do? It's tough to lose every game. It's not going to happen.
Sixers did pretty good at it, but
I mean,
it's tough to tell your guys to go out and lose, and then when they start noticing and you start taking them out of the games and shit like that.
Well, we talked about it earlier for Toronto. Spicy Pete didn't play in the 4th quarter. I mean, Toronto's a team that was everybody thought would be a playoff team. They had a good run last year. They won the championship the year before, and now all of a sudden they're benching one of their top 3 players in the 4th quarter. I mean, obviously these guys are professional. They want to win. But at the same time, the reality of the NBA is teams don't play hard in February and March most of the time. This is kind of where they're kind of taking it off. I mean, if we look at the Western Conference, the other Western Conference. All right. Well,
the other one.
This channel sucks.
It does. But yeah, so let me get the Western Conference up here in a second. But give me 1 second here.
What we got? What are we trying to do? Look at the.
So if you're looking at what the Jazz has and everything like that going on, I mean, look at the Jazz, the Suns, the Clippers, Lakers. I mean, no one's really looking at the Lakers, despite not having AD and despite not having LeBron. I mean, they're fine if they're fine if they drop down a little bit.
How do you think Utah feels if let's say they get the 1 seed and LA gets to 8 and you got fresh AD LeBron coming back? You were all you get the 1 seed. And
bet you they feel like shit because they're about
play
to
those
down.
Animals in the first round.
I was saying they lost their last 3, and it's only a couple games standing. But it's not like you want to go and play Dallas in the first round either. So,
listen, say that Luka is balling right now.
Yeah. So listen, I got a what we got here.
It's my MVP race.
Luka.
I don't think he.
I want to address this though, right? Playing in Tampa, that doesn't. I don't think that has any factor. I mean, it's not like Kev. We came back from Tampa a month ago. What would you rather be right now, in Tampa or Toronto?
Tampa Bay, bro. You want to be in Tampa Bay
In
right
February.
now?
Listen, the players are absolutely loving Tampa Bay right now. They don't want to be in Toronto.
Yeah.
I mean, come on now,
Drake's probably a little upset, but other than that, you know what I mean? Why would
well,
he be
listen, Drake. Hold on, but is Drake upset now? I mean, I haven't seen him at too many Raptors games last year or this year, right?
Mhm.
I mean, Drake's your typical groupie, right? He was balling with the Warriors, right? What was the line, right?
There's the Drake
I
curse.
mean,
Drake
I haven't seen
curse.
anybody at too many games between
Steph Curry with the pot, right? Then he went to now all of a sudden he was with Toronto and all that other stuff, and so Drake's the biggest fraud. I mean, he could take his Kentucky jersey on. I mean, what kind of grown man wears another man's jersey all the time? You know what I'm saying?
Me. I do. Got no problems with it either. I got no problems with it.
Fucking groupie.
Tell Hove I said it.
Listen, but I'm serious. You know, like Drake, like everything. You know, he's just everywhere and everything. And I don't know if he's bad, but I don't think Toronto is really. I don't think they're missing somebody. You know?
Six God.
Yeah, exactly. But we'll see. But listen, I always love this this part of the show. We're running slow here on time, and we got our I don't know what show's on after us, golf or something like that. Miniature golf.
No, I think it's
and his little putter.
Premiere of.
No, that's next week. Just because Clown Ass Atard has been promoting it more than fucking DraftKings, I mean, that show's not till next week, so we'll give them on that one. But what kind of bets you got for tonight for the players?
I just hit one.
Oh yeah, what'd you have?
I told you Bucks first to 10. You just didn't hear me. You were talking over me.
First.
Well, yeah, no, we heard you.
Okay, I'm sorry.
I was lost too.
I missed out on that.
So what do you got going on tonight, Ant?
Tonight, I don't have much going on, to be honest with you. I've been looking. I'm going with the college basketball since we're not going to be on. So we'll see everybody on Saturday and Sunday for the games. And I'm going I'm going with Oregon State plus 225 to beat this Loyola team. I'm going to ride the Oregon State. I'm going to ride the Beavs. I like the 225. So I'm going to roll with that. And then I am a fan of this Houston team, but if they don't shoot the ball, I think Syracuse could beat this team. So I'm going to go with Syracuse plus 210. I'm going to ride the dogs in college basketball this weekend.
All right.
I like that.
Dogs. I mean, I got some tonight action.
What do you got, Paul?
Yeah, I got over the Dallas Timberwolves game, 231.
Nice.
Okay.
Over in the Hawks Kings game, late night. After that one hits, you throw in the other one.
Oh, I didn't even see that game. I didn't even see that game. It's down late. I do like I do like that over. 230.
I don't know if you guys were over on the Nets game last night, but it was like 160 at halftime and didn't hit the over.
Wow.
Would have crushed the parlay for me.
And mark the words. This is the lock of the night. Rockets money line. End the streak. It's done.
Kevin Porter Jr. is not going to play though.
They are beating.
Wait, the streak's over, right?
Oh wait, when they lose the streak yesterday, they won. Fuck. All right, they're going on a winning streak.
Winning streak.
Ooh.
All right.
Can't go on a streak without the first
Damn,
one.
did they lose it last night?
Yes.
They beat up on somebody. I forget. I think it was Oklahoma.
Oh, no. All right, so while Paulie's checking that, I got some prop bets.
2 nights ago they smacked Toronto. That's right.
Toronto.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Toronto, because they weren't in Toronto, as Chris Tenta says, like a fucking clown. But listen, I got some props tonight for you guys. I got Zach LaVine, KG's boy, over 27.5. I have Sadiq Bey, over 13.5. And I have our boy, Fred VanVleet, over 19.5, because pretty much the Nuggets backcourt doesn't play any defense. So I think Fred VanVleet should put up a 20 ball on them. What else do I have here? And I know I have – where's my triple-double props? Because I hit Joker, triple-double, Luka, triple-double. I threw them in a little juicy parlay at plus 766 odds. And I have – yeah. So we're going to hit that, and then I'm going to crush both of them straight too. So
nice. Good luck, gentlemen. Good luck.
Yeah.
So
I'm excited about these college basketball games this weekend. I love the tournament, man. Totally different style basketball, different style. You see defense, you see these offenses being run. It's just a totally different game, and it's
not for that money. It's for the love of the game. It's great.
Yeah,
to watch.
So before we leave, Paul. Give me one team from the NCAA tournament that's not going to be here next week. That's going to surprise everybody.
One team from the NCAA tournament that's not going to be here is Loyola.
Oh,
riding with Ann.
Agree.
Sister is gone, huh?
Yeah.
Sister Jean, peace.
I'm gonna go with Alabama.
Oh, that's a spicy one.
That's juicy.
I like Alabama, but there's always one. I was gonna say either Baylor or Alabama, but I'm gonna go with Alabama.
And
I'm rolling with Paulie because I'm rolling. I either two teams. I'm saying Houston or Loyola will not be here.
My team is a surprise, and I hate to say this, but Livers isn't going to be back, and I think that catches up with Michigan, Juwan Howard. Phil Martelli, my old camp basketball coach, love him, but I don't think they're going to be here next week.
I don't think that would, but that would you think that would surprise them?
Yes, it's a surprise. They're number 1 seed.
Yeah, but they're in that
they picked a fucking 9 seed, and you're going to bust my balls about Michigan?
That wouldn't surprise.
All right, good show tonight, guys. Catch Mike Galletta and his little putter, the miniature golf show coming on after us. Check them guys out, and you know what? See you guys next week, and enjoy the March Madness. Take care, gentlemen.
Man. See you guys.
See ya.
Thank you for watching this episode of Baseline Jumper on the Sports Box. Please remember to follow us on all of our social media outlets. On Facebook at Sportsbox Show, Twitter at Sportsbox Show, Instagram at The Sportsbox Show. Find us on YouTube and join Outside the Box, our Facebook sports discussion group. The Sports Box is brought to you by our sponsor, Showcase Sports in Hamilton. Showcase Sports for the elite athlete. And also our friends over at CrowdPlay. Download the free CrowdPlay app today and use promo code THEBOX at sign up for 10 free points. Thank you for joining us.